Hello and welcome to BierTier, the German engineer. Today we're back with episode 14 of our newest Let's Play series, and this is of course oxygen not included. Last time around we tamed a wonderful natural gas geyser over on our Forest Planetoid, and today we are at the bare minimum starting a few different projects. One of them is to tame a Cobalt volcano. So let's just jump right into it and see how that works out for us. And here we are. Here on the left side, of course, we still have our wonderful aluminum volcano tamer, and the aluminum volcano itself is currently dormant. But we're still generating a tiny little bit of power right here with our steam turbines, because our thermoaquatuna is still hard at work trying to cool down our water over here that we have extracted. And we have about, what are we looking at here, about 10 tons or so per tile. Yeah, times 6 tiles, it's about 60 tons that we have currently extracted, which is not too bad. We take a look here, this thing here was full to the brim, and that is exactly what we are looking at right here, because that is what we need to change. This entire reservoir here needs to get a tiny little bit smaller, because the before mentioned Cobalt volcano is right here, and we need a little bit more upward space. So let's get that done first. Right here, how much do we have here? I would say about 3 tiles. We can easily move up 3 tiles. Yeah, absolutely, that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna grab this liquid pump here, and we're just gonna move it up to, yeah, right around here should be perfectly fine. Yeah, that's exactly how we're gonna do this. You can go, and in our F2 overlay, we of course gonna put in a new power spine as well. And in our F6 overlay, we also gonna grab this pipe here and come upwards with it. There we go. We just need to deconstruct all of this stuff right here, and of course we won't need the power wires anymore either. So this is the first thing that we need to get done. Let's go. Meanwhile, right here, I told the dupes to extend this ladder straight down for 2 reasons. First of all, so the dupes can go straight down. They don't have to come over here anymore and then jump around all over the place. We're just gonna go straight down. And second of all, I want to put in a few more of those atmosuit docks right here, so we can have more dupes down there at the same time, which should speed up the construction time quite drastically. So that is the general idea. And our liquid pump here is safely relocated and hooked back up to power as well as to our pipe. Yes, everything is done as that should be. So the next thing on the list will be that we take an airflow tile and we just literally come straight across all the way over. We're just gonna build 3 layers, one by one, and then slowly but steadily whenever needed, we're gonna tear the bottom ones back out because we won't need them anymore. That is the general idea. And that's how we slowly but steadily gonna push all the salt water back up to the top right here. Also up here, we're making quite a lot of progress. Yes, let's take a quick look in our room overlay. 155 tiles, so this area here is currently way too big, but it will be drastically reduced here in a second as well. So let's keep on building, and we will see if we can get our nature reserve back up and running in due time. This area right here is now completed. It looks pretty decent, except for this bug here that I have never seen in my entire life. Look at this here. It shows me that we are still trying to build airflow tiles over airflow tiles, and I cannot cancel it. Yeah, I have never seen that before. I also don't know why only those 2 tiles here. But yeah, sure, we're gonna roll with it, I guess. But over here on the right, I had to tile off this little area here to actually decrease our room size, but we still have 4 plants here, that is fine. And of course, now we have a total of 10 atmosuit docks right here. So now more than enough dupes can make their way down there whenever they want. This is certainly future-proofing of the finest sort. And down here on the bottom, Krewok and Luma are building our second layer. 1 more to go. That is going to be fine after that, and then we can start the deconstruction process and also start the construction process of our Cobalt volcano tamer. So let's put in the last row right here and then see what that looks like after that. Meanwhile, over here on Abondino, we of course can't forget our wonderful Forest Planetoid either. So let's take a look. How are we looking? Do we have oxygen? Yes, we do. Do we have algae? Yes, we do. 6.4 tons left. And how are we looking up here? Our natural gas geyser is dormant for another 30 cycles. But one of my wonderful Discord members made me aware that I of course forgot the gas vents right here. More not the gas vents, they are obviously here, but what we don't have are any pipes. The good thing is we have nothing in here that matters, only a little bit of oxygen. So there's nothing easier than break this here back open and then come in here, grab one of those insulated pipes and actually build it out of there. Not quite that far, but this here will be more than sufficient. And to actually get get to this point, we of course need right here a piece of ladder, but that should then get the job done, I hope. All right, let's build another one right here just to be safe. But now we are good to go right here. Then we can vacuum the stuff here out and call it a day. Meanwhile, down here on the bottom, we have 3 vents. We have here a polluted water vent. And then when we take a look down here on the bottom, we have a steam vent. And then we take a look up here on the top, we have a infectious polluted oxygen vent. Yes, and they're all extremely close together. So we certainly need to do something about that. But the big question is, which one are we going to dig in first? We can dig into the steam vent or the polluted infectious oxygen vent first. It doesn't really matter because we will need both. There is no question about it. What are we going to do first? I think, do we have enough sand on this map? That is a question. Here we have a bunch of sand that we will dig out. Here we have a ton of sand. Okay, so it looks like we are not short on sand anytime soon. That is very, very good. Okay, so we are going to get over into this area. Yeah, sorry, our park here will have to die a horrible death, but that is fine. Yep, we will get started with that. We're gonna dig all this stuff here up, just 4 high, all the way over into this general direction, and the park sign can go, as well as, of course, all those walls here and the door. We won't need any of that anytime soon anymore. So let's get started with that as well, and we will see how far we will get with it. After having watched this here for a tiny little bit, I am not too happy. It takes forever because we only have 3 dupes. We would need at least 5 or 6. Yeah, that is absolutely a problem. So let's do something about it if at all possible. Our mini pod over here is ready to roll. So let's see what is in it. We have Marie on the left, supplying, operating, and farming, skilled in exosuit training, cannot do digging. Yeah, okay, we can already forget that. What about Hassan here in the middle? Building, digging, and farming. That would be okay. Uncultured and unpracticed artist. That would be very good as a matter of fact. And here we have Mima with digging and supplying, which would almost be even better. Animal lover, interior decorator, and flatulent. Now that is a problem. Yeah, I would like to avoid that as much as possible. So I think we're gonna bring on Hassan here in the middle. And Hassan is of course not going to stay Hassan. Hassan is going to become Yaroslav. Welcome to the game, Yaroslav, a newest YouTube member. Thank you very much for that, and welcome to the team. So let's hopefully get digging right away. Meanwhile, over here on Ingenium, the dupes have removed those 3 layers of airflow tiles, and our salt water has moved back up to the top, and it looks like nothing has happened at all over here, which is almost a little bit sad after everything we have accomplished, but it is what it is. Yeah, so next on the list, we need to move all these utilities and ladders and whatnot a little bit over to the left, because we will need quite a lot of space right here. So let's see what we have going on. First of all, we have this power wire right here, and that is certainly not going to be an issue. We're just gonna take this power wire right here, come all the way down to right here, and bring it over to there, and then connect it back up. That's going to be this simple. That's exactly what that should look like, and that is what we're going to do. In our F6 overlay, on the other hand, we have all of our oil going through here, all the way up, all the way to the top right here. And currently, it's just sitting there. It's really not doing anything, so it is actually not that important. Yeah, later on we are going to make petroleum out of it, so we will need that line. That is very clear. So what are we going to do with it? It's actually coming all the way through here. Yeah, there's no point in doing that. So we're going to build us a new one. We're going to come straight up to here, going to come across right there, and then right here we're going to come back over, and then here all the way back. That is exactly what we're going to do. That should be simple enough. So that's what we are going to do. All right, and then everything else we can literally deconstruct. So well, it's just gonna fall down. It's not a big deal at all. Okay, that is very good. We just need to get all this here done, and then we can actually start building. Down here, everything we wanted to relocate is now relocated, with the exception of one thing. Yes, the conveyor rail. I forgot about it. Well, that happens, and it's not that big a deal. We're just gonna come along here, all the way over to right there, and then tear the rest out. Thankfully, it does not matter at all, because once again, our aluminum volcano is completely dormant. Now, sometimes that plays into our hands just well. So let's get this here done, and then we can start the actual construction. Over here on Abundino, we finally did it. We actually dug up our infectious polluted oxygen vent. Right here it is, and it happens to be dormant. That is a wonderful coincidence that we will definitely take advantage of, just in case we accidentally dig up this one thing here a little bit too early. So let's hop into base and grab us an insulated tile made out of igneous rock. So let's get started. We are going to come all the way up here to the top. Yes, all the way to right there. Then we're going to switch over to airflow tiles all the way over to right here, 4 wide. That should be perfectly fine. And then come back down. Then we need another 4 spaces to right there and build us another chamber above it. This here is where we're going to clean our oxygen. That is going to be good. And then right here we need 1, 2, 3, 4 high, another few spaces over, and then on the bottom as well. Then we're going to hop into power. We're going to grab us a steam turbine and plop it up here. And we of course need to go back to our insulated tiles, and we need 2 extra spaces. I'm going to come all the way through here and then actually enclose this thing here. That is what this here is going to look like. And if you're wondering, how did you come up with that on the spot? Well, I didn't. I already made an explainer video about it. You can find it in the top right now. So check it out if you want to see an in-depth explanation of why we are doing what we are doing. What we can already do as well is we can grab a liquid reservoir and plop it right there, just for safety's sake. That is going to be good. But now we actually need to be able to build all of this stuff here. So let's make sure our dupes can get nicely around here. We're going to grab us a ladder, going to build it all the way to the top, then dig all the way over to here, and then all the way down here. We won't need any of this stuff here anymore, so we might as well get rid of it. There we go. Here we're going to plop in 2 ladders, here a ladder, there a ladder, and now our dupe should be able to walk around here however they please, which is of course very good. And then what else do we need? We need to cancel a couple of these tiles here so the dupes can get in here, a couple of these tiles so the dupes can get in there, these 2 tiles here so they can get in here, and these 2 tiles so they can get in there. And that should be basically everything, I believe. Should we give them another few more ladders so they can move around a little bit easier? Yeah, sure, why not? Yes, that is all that I can think of for right now. So that is what we are going to do. I don't think I have forgotten anything. Yep, that looks good. Let's get this here built, and then when we have that, we will slowly but steadily move on. This will certainly take forever since we have only 4 dupes available. And now over here on Ingenium, I moved a couple more things around. Yes, this ladder here also now goes all the way straight down, and I made it all out of plastic, and the dupes are not even done with it yet. Look at this. Come on, dupes, get your shit together. Let's get it done. Most importantly, our Cobalt volcano, which is currently dormant, which is certainly something that we won't complain about. Once again, it is always good when we build on something if it is dormant, because it helps us out in case we make a mistake. So, what we are going to do here is pretty simple. We are going to build the exact same setup once again, because why wouldn't we? It has worked so far. It has worked for the iron, it has worked for the aluminum, and it will also work for the cobalt just fine. So we're gonna say use blueprint, and I already have it right here. All you have to do is come over here, place it in the appropriate location, which is right there, and plop it down. We're of course lacking a bunch of resources and whatnot, but that is certainly not going to stop us. Other than that, a bunch of things here can also go. All of this stuff here, for example, is absolutely not needed because, well, we do not need it since we already have atmosuits on. It's the same thing as before. Other than this here, those conveyor rails here are made out of gold, which is fine. We will find a replacement for that very easily. We also don't have any steel, I believe. Yeah, it's certainly not that big a deal, but what I definitely want to do is I want to cancel this here because I do not want to get the system started. In buildings, I also want to make sure that the dupes actually can access this area right here. And right here, this one tile here needs to go as well, so the dupes can come up and back down and get back here to the back side of it. All right, other than this, here's something else that I've forgotten. These here need to go so we can build in there. Then we need to grab us the insulated tile and actually build a floor because that one was not copied for some reason. And then we're going to cancel the input here as well, or the entrance, better to say. So let's build all this here and then go from there once again. Meanwhile, over here in Abondino, our dupes are actually making quite some haste. I am actually very positively surprised how far we have progressed in the last couple cycles. My goodness, you guys are on it. I love it. But that is very good. The only problem is we are lacking an electrical engineer, which we will make one of our dupes here very shortly. Let's take a look. Who could do that? We have Amir right here. Nope, you're not it. Darkfry, you do have a point available. What are we gonna do with you? Nothing for right now. That's the answer. Yaroslav. Yeah, we already gave you a point to hard digging. And Random Dude. Okay, Random Dude is going to be our electrical engineer and eventually our mechatronics engineer, because we will later on also need a mechatronics engineer for this build, which is going to be an issue, but that is fine. We have time. We are just here to make sure it gets done eventually. So that is the general idea. Random Dude is going to be our engineer and we will go from there. While we are working on all of this here, we may as well put in what we need while we are at it. So let's go into not power, but into where's utilities. There it is. We need a thermo aqua tuner, and the thermo aqua tuner is of course going to live right here. And it is not going to be built out of aluminum ore. My goodness. Can I cancel it, please? Thank you very much. We need to make it out of steel. Right here, that's where it's going to live. Then in plumbing, we're going to come out with an insulated pipe right this here, just like that. No problem at all. There we go. And then with the insulated pipe, we're going to come all the way over to here. Then we're going to switch over to radiant, and we're going to use aluminum. We don't have any aluminum over here. That is unfortunate. I need to put a little bit of aluminum over here so we can actually just lay out the pipe. Later on, we can bring over more. Not that big a deal. So the aluminum will have to wait, but that is fine. We're going to go up to oxygen. And we're going to grab us 4 of the autorizers. They're going to live right there. What they're made out of literally does not matter. Then we're going to go into shipping. In shipping, we will need 2 things. We need a conveyor loader, 3 things actually. And then we will also need a conveyor chute, as well as an auto sweeper. And all of those things are living right here. And then last but not least, we will need in ventilation a gas pump. And the gas pump is going to live right here. And actually, I forgot one more thing, and that is the atmos sensor. That goes up here into the corner. There we go. That is now literally everything that we need. We just need to hook up the atmos sensor to our actual gas pump, and there is that. All of this here needs to be built, and we can see once again we are lacking the mechatronics engineer. Yes, that is what I mentioned earlier, but we can already plop it in here, so it is out of the way, and as soon as we have one of those engineers, they will build it right away. Right here on Ingenium, we are making quite a lot of progress. Yes, everything's coming along, and all the red markers are gone because I found a tiny little bit of gold amalgam right here. And it is still laying around down here on the floor, but that is nowhere near enough to actually build it all. So as soon as those few 100 kilograms that I have found are built out, all those markers are coming back, and we actually need to swap over materials. But again, it's not that big a deal. Down here on the bottom though, this water geyser right here, I dug it up. I wanted to come up with some elaborate plan of how to tame it and whatnot, but that is absolutely not needed. Because right here, we already have the tamer built. All we have to do is transfer the 95-degree hot water up here and get it cooled down with our thermo aqua tuner. It's literally this simple, so that is exactly what we are going to do here very shortly. The dupes just need to come by and pick all this stuff here up so we can actually build a tiny little enclosure with a pump in it. All this down here on the bottom is now cleaned up, so we can actually pause the game and come in here with a couple of insulated tiles. It's literally going to be this simple. I'm just going to come all the way down here. I'm going to leave like 3 spaces. It literally does not matter to me. I'm going to come all the way over here, leave 2 spaces. Better 1 too many than 1 not enough, and enclose it just like that. It's once again just this simple. I'm of course going to leave this here open so the dupes can actually come in, and probably this side here as well to make it a little bit easier. And I might as well go ahead and right here deconstruct this piece, then go into plumbing. I said plumbing, and then we're gonna grab us a liquid pump. Unfortunately, we do not have any gold anymore, which is of course a problem because of the overheating. My god. So we're gonna grab it, we're gonna make it out of steel, and we're gonna plop it right down here as soon as this piece here is gone. So we might as well already build the enclosure for it. There we go. And we're gonna plop it into here. That is going to be the general idea. That's what we are going to do. And then the water can just drop down here. The pump will suck it up and will then deliver it all the way up here into our storage. This simple, this straightforward. We don't have to do anything else. And there we have it. Look at this. All of our wonderful insufficient resources markers are back as well. So we will have to do something about that on top of everything else. Now I have removed all the ones that we cannot build, so let's grab us the conveyor rail once again, and we're just gonna make it out of whatever we have the most of. Let's see, cobalt, melting point 1400 degrees, more than enough. So let's rebuild it as this here should be. Here we're gonna come straight over, we will come all the way down to here, and then right here on the bottom we will just need to find an output, and we're just gonna come up to right there. That will be perfectly fine. Then right here on the top we gotta come out of here, gonna come all the way over, and then here we're just gonna snake it all the way through, something just like this here, and here we're gonna come back out. Then here on the top, this one here comes all the way over just like this. Yeah, we're gonna rebuild this one here. It literally doesn't matter, that's fine. Gonna come straight up to right there. Actually, it doesn't matter. I was wrong about that. Let's stop, cancel this one, cancel that, and cancel this here. Let's build it again because we do not want to rebuild this steel right here. That is highly important. So let's make it this way right here. And then here on the left side, we're gonna come all the way over as far as we can something like this here, and then we're gonna start snaking once again, just like this here. There we go. All of this here should now be perfectly fine. There it is. Now we can finally build it, and that should get the job done. Now there are only a couple things left. First of all, let's connect our insulated pipe right here so we can actually fill this one here up with oil as that should be, and we cannot reach this one conveyor rail right here. Of course we can't. I should have seen that one coming. Let's make sure we can get over there with a piece of ladder. There we go. Something just like this here. Cancel this one here. Everything, please. There we go. Now we can reach it. And now also our oil is flowing from the bottom, and we can fill this here up. We just need about 800 kilograms on the bottom, and we should be golden. And there it is. Now we have our liquid locker ready to go. All we have to do is to go into F6 and then actually snip this one here off. Put the last few kilograms in there. There we go. And then deconstruct all of it. We won't need it anymore. And then we can also get our large power transformer built. Isn't that something? We're definitely making a hell of a lot of progress all of a sudden. And while the last very few pieces are being built, of course, one more thing is absolutely needed, and that is polluted water. And we thankfully have more than enough polluted water right here. So all we're going to do is we're going to dig in here, and we're going to call it a day. It's going to be literally this simple. We're going to come, let's say, right around over here. Yeah, we're going to dig into right there, right down here. We're going to build us a ladder. Just like this here, and then we're gonna build us a tiny little reservoir somewhere around here, just below the slime lung. I don't want to deal with it right at this very moment, so we're gonna just drop the water down, and that is going to be that. This very simple. Here we're gonna dig all the way over so we can actually get there. And then here on the bottom, we're gonna go into plumbing. We're gonna grab us a liquid pump made out of literally anything that we have laying around, and we're gonna plop it right there. Then with an insulated pipe, we're going to come through here as well, and we will find a way to actually get over there. Probably the easiest would be right around here, because we already have the infrastructure available, so we may as well use it, and then come all the way. Yeah, we may just come all the way up, all the way into right there. It's going to be literally this simple and straightforward. So there we go. Here it is. And then one more thing, this one building right here, we don't need this. So that should be perfectly fine. And we of course also have power nearby. With the power, we're going to come all the way through here. And I just realized this potential load here, 2420, is a little bit high. Yeah, we need to do something about that. And the simplest thing that we can do is we're going to grab us another large power transformer, plop it right there with a conductive wire made out of lead. Doesn't matter, it is perfectly fine. I'm going to come all the way down to here and hook it up to there. There we go, just like this. And then we can of course snip this here off, and then actually completely deconstruct it while we are at it. All of this here can go, we won't need it anymore. Everything that's below right here, we are going to power with this brand new wire. Just as simple as that. And all this here is completed. Our liquid pump is pumping. We are already filling our loop quite drastically. There we go. Yes, that's what that should look like. We're just gonna put a little bit of extra in here as usual, just in case, because you never know what you're gonna do with it in the future. Also, this down here on the bottom is completely built. So what we are going to do is we are going to come into here, and we are just going to fill up this entire thing here. Yeah, we can't do it like that though. What am I doing? There we go. This is how this is done. Now, out of aluminum tiles, one by one, we're going to fill it all up. And as soon as this here is done, last but not least, we're going to hook up this here. Oh yeah, there's one more thing that I almost forgot. Oh, of course, we need to vent this entire thing here. We're going to build a gas pump right here with a gas pipe coming out of here somewhere. It literally doesn't matter. And then we are going to grab a high pressure gas vent, plop it right there in our F2 overlay. We're going to grab us the conductive wire, bring it in, and there's that. We're just gonna get this last thing here done, and this thing here will be running like a charm. I'm already pumping in a little bit of water. About 100 kilograms per tile should be more than sufficient. And of course, the water is just coming straight from our storage right here. I was wondering when I started this here up why my pump is doing nothing. Yeah, because I built an automation wire all the way to this wall, but I didn't come all the way out. That is why. Fascinating, didn't even realize that, but now I have fixed it, and the signal switch is right here, and we can actually get going with it. And we already are way too high, my god. Okay, let's turn this here off, and then we can get rid of this pipe here again. Slowly but steadily, all these pipes here are becoming confusing, even to me. Look at this insanity right here, but it works, so what should I say? Yep, but we can now get rid of all of it once again. All this here can go, all this here can go. All this here can go, and all the way over to here as well. That is the last thing that we need. As soon as our gas pump here is done, we are officially ready to roll. While we're waiting for the last few seconds for the carbon dioxide to actually disappear, it will be done here any second now. We can actually dig into here and start analyzing this thing as well. Theoretically, all the water should just flow down here. I put in this hydro sensor right here and I say send a green signal if below 500 kilograms, which would be everything right now. So we are just immediately getting rid of it. We are going to heat up this area here a tiny little bit while Chemster is at work, but that is acceptable. As soon as he is done, we're gonna be good, and then we're gonna get him out of here. It's going to be this simple. And Chemster, of course, got that done in absolutely no time. Here comes Eric picking up this data bank right here, or those 11 data banks that we got out of there. Come on, Krivwak is helping out as well. Only a little bit of granite is left, and as soon as that is gone, we can close it off for good. And that should solve that problem here for a long time to come. But at the same time, the gas pump here is done. So the last thing that we have to do is grab us, of course, made out of steel, a little bit of conveyor rail right here, and bring it over there. And that should then start up the entire system, no problem whatsoever. I'm looking forward to see that happening. So all this here looks to be good. Of course, we don't need this pipe here anymore either. So we can get rid of it in its entirety. There we go, just like that. And then what else do we need? In F2, we can get rid of this piece. And in F7, we can get rid of all of this here as a matter of fact, including the high pressure gas vent. We don't need that one anymore either. All right, let's turn it on and let's see what happens. My goodness, I'm telling you, I was just looking down here that everything is running smooth, which it is. And while I was looking down there, Chemster was up here already completely analyzing our Cobalt volcano. This guy is so fast, it is incredible. So last but not least, right here we need a heavy wire joint plate and then of course an insulated tile so we can close it off, and both of our steam turbines are properly hooked up to our power grid. That is great. Power grid is coming all the way up here, and here we have our new large power transformer. I think this area here has evolved quite a lot. My goodness, look at all this tech that we have down here. And of course, the low-tech version as well. What do we have in here? Polluted oxygen and oxygen? I don't even know. Okay, that's where it's coming from. Oh yeah, that's right. I pulled the deodorizer right here. Apparently it was not too successful, but that is fine. No problem at all. And the dupes can slowly but steadily start to actually pick up all this stuff here on the floor as well. And the last thing that's needed is the insulated tile, and this here will be 100% completed. And the next eruption is actually happening right now. It should heat up our water quite drastically and produce the first steam even. So I'm certainly looking forward to seeing that as well. Let's speed it up a tiny little bit and let's see what happens. And there it is. The steam turbines have turned on, at least temporarily, intermediately. I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, apparently one eruption is not quite enough for our system to actually turn on, or is it? I'm not sure. I don't think it feels right about it yet, but that is perfectly fine because we are producing cobalt, and that is what we are here for. Let's take a look at our sensor right here. We are at 270 degrees and we're going around and around. We set it to above 150. That's very good. This sensor here on the left, right beside our thermal tuner, is set to -5. We're just gonna cool down this water as much as we can, and we can now see that this one here is slowly but steadily turning green, which means it is moving it all the way down here to the bottom, and it is coming out over here at a reasonable temperature of about 24 to 25 degrees. Wonderful, we are now producing cobalt. Just as simple as that. Once you have built it and you have the blueprint mod, you just have to copy and paste it. I don't know why that is not already a feature in the game, but here it is. It works just fine. While we are waiting for a second eruption, right here, we are ready for our natural gas in 15 cycles. All this is vacuumed out. All I did is I just put temporarily a conductive wire all the way down here and actually put a little bit of our jumbo battery power into those systems right here to create a vacuum here and a vacuum right there. So this here is ready to roll for whenever we need it in about 15 cycles. And then down here on the bottom, yes, everything that can be built is built with the exception of our pipe, which I brought over some aluminum. I did not mean to bring over 11.7 tons. That may actually be everything we had on the other planet. Well, that's fine. Eventually our volcano will start back up and it should be okay. I did turn it off at some point, so I'm not entirely sure if you got everything out of it. But the nice thing is all we have to do is snake it all the way through here. Of course, this one here we're gonna leave for right now. All the way through, all the way to the top, all the freaking way. It's literally this simple. Then right here, insulated towel or insulated pipe, better to say, coming all the way down to here. Then switch back to the radiant one, come through there, all the way through over here somewhere. Yeah, right there should be okay. That is not what I wanted to do. There we go. That's better. And then right here, we're just gonna come out and in. It's literally this simple. There we go. That should be our system. The dupes can already build this here since we now have aluminum under this planetoid. And on Ingenium, are we erupting yet? Nope, 0.6 cycles. So we're gonna wait for that and we will watch it one more time to see what happens. And while random dude is building the pipes over here, I just realized he may have gotten a skill point. So let's take a look at him. Random dude, right here he is, and sure enough, he's got an electrical engineering point, so we're gonna give it to him. And you know what, you can keep your hat, that's perfectly fine. Yaroslav, what are we gonna do with you? We will probably, you already have hard digging. You are the only super duper hard digger, aren't you, random dude? Yes, you are. We're gonna give you super duper hard digging. Dark Fry right here on the other hand. What are we gonna do with you? I still don't know what to do with you. We're probably just gonna wait with you because I don't know if I wanna go grilling or critter wrenching or crop tending with you. I don't know. Probably not crop tending though, because Yaroslav is eventually gonna go that line. So yeah, that's that. What about Amir? We can give you data analysis. Yeah, that's probably what we're gonna do. There we go. That should be helpful. And now random dude is gonna get a skill point and he can actually build our steam turbine. And as soon as he gets his second skill point, we can build all the stuff up here on the top that we need as well. That is going to be very good. And before I forget it, of course, in ventilation, we will also need an insulated gas pipe that we need to bring out of there so we don't have to enter this whole thing here again later. And then there's one more thing that I just remembered in research. We need right here in medicine, we are already there as a matter of fact, pathogen diagnostics. We need a gas pipe germ sensor. Yep, that is important. So let's get this here research that will happen on the other planetoid, and Chemster is gonna get on it right away. So far, so good. And the last thing for today, we're gonna watch the eruption of our Cobalt volcano one more time to make sure everything's all right. Here it's coming out, our Cobalt at about 730 degrees. We're gonna put it onto our conveyor rail right here. Let's speed it up a little bit, huh? How about that? Yeah, there we go. And we can slowly but steadily see the output is rising because our steam is heating up quite drastically. About 45 kilograms per tile. Yeah, that's roughly what we have in here. And we are moving around, producing a lot of wonderful power. Our Cobalt is slowly but steadily cooling down, and eventually it will get transferred all the way down to here, cooled down completely, and then moved out of the system. It is just so nice to watch. Honestly, I love this system. It's so simple, so easy, and it just works. Of course, you could build it a little bit smaller and whatnot, but it is what it is. It's perfectly fine in my opinion, especially because we have the space. We have so much space down here, we don't even know what to do with it as a matter of fact. So we're just gonna roll with it. How is our aluminum volcano looking? We are another 28 cycles away from the next activity, and that is perfectly fine. And you can see how fast Chemster over there is just churning out that research. He already has 2 out of 3 done, and the third one is almost done as well. Chemster, the absolute research beast. Next time around, we have to focus a little bit more on Abondino because obviously we need to complete this system right here. We still have a steam vent down here on the bottom as well as this polluted water vent right here. Even though the polluted water vent can wait, we don't need that at all right now. That is not that important, but most important is we still don't have any power production with the exception of this one singular manual generator. Yes, we have still nothing else over here. And why is that? Well, because we haven't needed it yet, but that will change very drastically when we have this thermo aqua tuner right here, because that thing needs a lot of power and we need to do something about it. But I already have an idea, so we will see how that goes. But that is all I have for you today. So if you enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and of course, comment down below. You know it, I'm always happy to hear from you. And with that, I say thank you and peace.